everybody, it's JW with Sober Militia Podcast and xtopwriting.com. I'm joined here today with Joanne Reynolds from Sexy AF Spirits, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the product that they have and her experience in the sober community. Joanne, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thanks so much for having me, JW. My name is Joanne Reynolds, and I'm the founder and CEO of Sexy AF Spirits.
Cool. So we were talking a little bit before this started, and I had asked you about your experience as far as with sobriety and all that, and you were explaining to me kind of how you came up with this idea, and it wasn't necessarily through a sober journey, like I would have thought originally, and I kind of liked the story you're telling. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So I was on a girls' trip to California about, March of last year. And every time we went out to drink, socially and go for dinners and cocktails, I was the only one that was ordering an alcoholic beverage. Being is that a lot of alcohol for various reasons, whether it's religious or health or personal reasons. Some girlfriends were trying to get pregnant, and one was a designated driver that evening. So every time we went to any event or a social setting throughout the weekend, I felt that they were really excluded when it came to options for what to drink, and they had no choices. So the barman would say, okay, we can make you whatever you want. And my girlfriends would say, sure, but I don't want, a sugary Shirley Temple, and I don't want tea, water, pop. And it was just really a bit of a downer for them. And I remember coming back from the trip to Calgary and saying to my husband, it was a great weekend, it was a lot of fun, but I felt like my girlfriends felt socially excluded when it came down to, ordering drinks that didn't contain alcohol. And I said to him, I wanted to create a brand of product that made them feel, fun and sophisticated and classy, and a drink that's tasteful. It looks like a cocktail and it tastes like a cocktail, but it doesn't have the alcohol in it. And he said, that's a great idea, honey. You should really think about it. And the more I did, and the more R&D that I did with regards to, alcohol-free options, I realized that there wasn't much out there. And I thought, the UK is 5 years ahead of North America when it comes to alcohol-free or no alcohol, low alcohol choices, that I feel like I could create an awesome brand and a really good company that can help support people that want choices when they go out to, hanging out with their friends and to socialize, and give them the Sexy AF cocktail that they need.
Cool. Yeah, I love the name. Was there any specific story behind the name? Because it's definitely a double entendre, right?
Oh, for sure it is. And you know what? There's a couple of reasons behind that. And first, I did it to stand out. I wanted to be, I feel like my personality, I like to think of myself as a little bit of an introvert, extrovert, half and half here and there. But I do love to wear bold colors, and, I wanted something bright and bold and sexy, and something you could that was eye-catching on the bar back when you're in a restaurant. And I was doing, seeing what brands were out there, and I thought, oh my God, all these are so boring AF. And then my husband's like, well, no one wants to be boring AF. I'm like, yeah, I want to be sexy AF. And then I was like, alcohol free. Oh my goodness, it's going to be sexy alcohol free. And it's amazing how many people, especially our older demographic, who will, send us an email or call us and say, oh my God, I know what it really means, like hush, hush. And we just have so much fun with like the play on the words. And like you said, it's totally different. It stands out. You always remember it. And it's turned into a verb where you just ask for your cocktail Sexy AF, and the bartender knows to replace the shot of alcohol with, a shot of our Sexy AF products. So it is so much fun, and the brand is super fun. And, it's just every day there's something funny about turning Sexy AF into an interesting word or sentence or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's great. I think I found you on Twitter, right? Isn't that how we connected originally?
I think it was Twitter. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know where you popped up. I don't remember how it happened, but it was definitely the name that caught my attention, you know? And so I'm like, what is this about? And so I looked into it. And then I think what actually got you and I talking was I think you were up late one night talking, and I think you posted, is anybody else out, working this late or something? And so we started chatting, and then it kind of turned into this. And then I bought your product and started playing around with it. And you saw how much fun I've been having with it. Because I was a bartender.
You've been having so much fun. Oh my goodness, your drinks and the way I love showing the picture. And for everyone that's listening, you need to find it. It's you put one of our sexy shirts on a cute teddy bear.
Yeah.
I love that.
I
showed my youngest daughter, and she's like, I need a teddy bear that size so I can also put t-shirts on him.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, because remember, I think you only had a double extra large or something. I'm like, it's way too big for me.
I did, yeah.
My kid,
I know.
What if we put it on the teddy bear? And I'm like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, little buddy.
Yeah. Well, I think what one of the things that makes your product so much fun to play with is you really do just treat it like you would alcohol. And like I said, I was a bartender, and so I always had a lot of fun with that idea of mixology and playing with different flavors and things. And so you have 4 flavors right now. Is that still right? Just the 4?
That's correct. We started with 4, and we just wanted to, it's a new market, see what kind of customer feedback we're getting, and really just stuck to the 4 main ones. So we have our gin, which is a play, or our virgin, which is a play on gin, our triple sexy, so that's a play on triple sec, and same with the Campari and the Amaro. So just had some fun with the wording around the naming of the products too, but ultimately they mimic the taste of the actual alcohol as if you would be drinking it.
Right, it really does. And you don't have to use that much either, because that was my first thought, was how fast are we going to go through this? I thought you'd have to use a bunch. And you really just, you saw how I was doing the drinks I made. I did it just like a recipe for a drink with alcohol. So, an ounce of one or the other, and mixed with other stuff. And it gives a lot of flavor. It really carries.
And that's a valid point, because, we really highly recommend that you do treat 1 ounce as you would an actual ounce of alcohol, because with Sexy AF, we call it our BVB, Botanicals by Volume. It is so strong. So ours is at 30%, whereas a lot of the other companies and brands, all theirs is they use a whole different process. They distill off the alcohol and then water it down. So there's still a bit of alcohol in there, and it's very watery. Right. And that's why you do go through a lot of it. Whereas ours, I say half an ounce to an ounce, play around with the flavor profiles. But we made it so because then yourself, if you love a strong Negroni, then you add more Campari. Or if you are, you really don't drink too much and you like a lighter flavor, then you have, a little bit of virgin with the spritzer. So we made it so the option is yours with how strong or how weak you want to make your cocktail.
Yeah, and it really does work. We, like I said, we're having a ball with it, and I'll be we bought all 4, the first time, just to see what it was going to be out, about, and I just have a ball with it. It's really been a lot of fun.
Oh, so, that's so good to hear.
Yeah, one of the things that I find really interesting about this whole idea about alcohol-free and drinking alcohol-free spirits, or there's alcohol-free beers out there and everything right now, is there really is a controversy, about people who are in sobriety. Whether or not they should drink that. Have you experienced any pushback on that yet from anybody, or has it been more positive?
JW, for us, we've only had positive experiences, and we get some customers that reach out and say, whether it's, their mentor or their coach or whoever it may be, we'll say to them, and obviously this varies across the board because it is very, very different and controversial, that all because you aren't drinking alcohol, it doesn't mean you can't drink an alternative. And maybe it depends on the person as well, whether that may trigger anything, that may feel like that's not going to lead to a good decision down the line. Whereas some people are like, oh my God, I've been sober for 4 years and finally there's something for me to drink. So it's really all over the map when it comes to it. Us as a company and a brand, we haven't experienced, any negativity in that regard yet. We try and keep a neutral playing field when it comes to people's choices and options, and really it's each to their own at the end of the day of what you feel comfortable with your limitations and your restrictions and what you allow yourself to consume.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I wrote about this just recently. I think I shared it with you that, it was a big part of my, I talk a lot about easy sobriety, right? How sobriety can be an easy thing if we approach it from the right way and with the right perceptions and mindsets, right? And the alcohol-free, I started with beer because I hadn't found you guys yet. So some alcohol-free beers out there that I found that were pretty amazing. And it just allowed that, because when you make a change this big, go from drinking every night to not drinking anything, soda water just doesn't cut it. You know what I mean? It's not enough. And so I started, with the alcohol-free beers, and it just, they talk about triggers. And for me, it was if I was feeling that trigger of some sort, if I had an option to go to, then I could forget about it for a little bit, because they say cravings last like 12 to 20 minutes, right? And so if you have something to replace it for just that time to sit down and have that non-alcoholic beer, have that non-alcoholic drink, then it kind of just puts it off long enough to forget about that craving and move on. And so I'm a big proponent of this whole idea. And then, so when I found you, I was like, this is awesome because it makes it fun. You can, if you have people over, you can make drinks, you can do the whole deal, and you're not missing anything, but you're not getting, you don't have alcohol in your system. So I love it.
No.
I think it's fantastic.
Thank you so much. And, it's such a fun, we wanted to make it fun and you want to have a fun time with it, and you want to like have guests over, or if you're going to visit and instead of taking a bottle of wine, because you can't drink a bottle of wine, but you can take a bottle of sexy. Absolutely. It's not for us. I didn't want these big flashing red arrows going, why aren't you drinking, and getting, the third degree as to why. Alcohol is the only drug that people question why you aren't taking it in society, which I find just incredible these days. And obviously, as times change throughout the years, it's becoming more prominent. But for us, you want it just to feel like level playing field, like you're included. And like you said, you want to sit down and you can have a lovely dinner with your family or watch a movie, and I'm like, oh, I could really use a big glass of wine. Well, instead I can just have a sexy AF, and like you said, after 20 minutes that moment's passed and it's good. Like it kind of not compensates, but it fills that little feeling that you have that, well, maybe you could go down that route, but you choose not to, because again, it's all about mindful drinking. Absolutely. Which you brought up as well, just being super mindful of being in the moment and your decision at that time.
Yeah, definitely. It's if anything, at the bare minimum, it's a redirection, right? It just gives you time to go a different way, and then let that time pass and move on. It's very nice. Yeah. My wife and I quit at the same time, and so this was something we both had been playing around with, and she started out with some non-alcoholic wines, and I was doing the non-alcoholic beer thing, but then we found you, and so especially in the summertime, we've had a ball. You saw some of the pictures I posted with me outside on the deck and patio with our, I do them in martini glasses, and it just feels like you're out having a happy hour outside in the sunshine.
Yep, all day happy hour, and that's a really good point that you raised, is that a lot of our customers, they are doing it, husband and wife, they're doing it as a couple or teams, or they're like, we're going to try 1 month, or we're going to try 1 week, or they give themselves goals, or they're like, okay, sober October, we're starting, the first, we'll see how it goes. And they are surprised themselves that they're like, oh, this isn't too bad. And then you give a few more weeks, and then I get, customers, they'll email me saying, oh my God, Joe, I've lost like 10 pounds.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I quit drinking, but I'm drinking sexy AF. And I'm like, absolutely. There's 0 sugar in it. It's low carb. There's no artificial ingredients. Like, you can't go wrong with it. And people are like, I'm like losing weight. My skin's cleared up. I'm super, I have all this energy. But it's fun that you mentioned that you did it with your wife, because couples just like stick together when it comes to these things. Yeah.
It gives you something you can do together.
Yeah, like supporting each other, and that's fantastic.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I think I have one right here, and just to give you guys a visual. This is which one is this? This is the Virgin. This is my favorite one, to be honest with you. That's why it's so low.
I was going to say, we're going to have to send you another bottle with our new label as well. You've got the vintage.
I saw the new labels.
Happening there.
I saw the new labels. That's cool. No, we'll definitely be doing more. And I think I even invited you to, we're doing that sober happy hour on Fridays. I'm going to start trying to do here. It's kind of a regular thing, and having people to get together and just, virtually and having a happy hour together with different non-alcoholic options and stuff. So you'll definitely come up when I'm doing those.
I love those, and the whole virtual happy hours, they happen all day long. I'll log in and everyone's like, what are you guys doing? Oh, it's virtual happy hour. We're having 6 CAF, and it's a work day. Awesome. And yeah, absolutely.
That's very cool. Well, I'm so glad I met you, and I'm so glad I found your product. I'll definitely be a fan and be supporting you guys all the way through. And I appreciate you coming on and just sharing the story and letting people know what you're about. Thank
you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And, if there's anything that we're really big on supporting as well. So if there's anything that we can do for your community or your audience, or how we can help you guys in any capacity, please let us know.
Yeah, definitely. And, I'll just go back to, the beginning. One of the things I really liked about you and your company is the how available you were. A lot of people, that are doing different, company ventures and stuff like that, you reach out to them and they're kind of push off and standoffish and all that. You were just like somebody I knew immediately. And so I'm like, I automatically like this person. And so I have to like the product. And, so I just wanted to say that because, it's so often we don't get those chances to meet people that are doing these things and have good experiences like that. So I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, JW. And I love people. So I love connecting, and I love to chat, and I love to, what our lives are so busy these days, and, the crazy COVID world that we live in and are dealing with. Just connecting with people and being in the moment with them is so important. And you know what, at the end of the day, it costs nothing to be kind to people. And what you always have to remember is that you never know what someone else is dealing with. So if you're having a good day, maybe someone isn't, or, a kind word here and there, it goes so far. And, it's always something I teach I have 2 girls, ages 18, she feels like she's 18 some days, she's 15, and an 8-year-old. So my 2 girls, I try to teach them that every day is just be kind. And it's not that someone, wants something from you or needs something from you. Maybe it's just a conversation, or, hey, how's it going? Or can I help with anything? And I'm a really, really big advocate of the power of positivity, and what you put out into the universe, you get back. And it's, that's exactly how I aligned 60 AF Spirits too. So, I really am thankful for, you taking the time to chat with me today. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. It's been really nice to meet you. Something tells me we'll talk more.
I feel like there's another conversation coming.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you so much. Oh wait, before we go, I forgot. Sorry, you got me sidetracked. Do you want to tell us where people can find you and plug your business and whatever you need?
Oh, absolutely. So we're online at www.60afspirits.com. For a lot of people out in the East, you guys can go to betterroads.com, and they carry our products. They do some really cute boxes, and I think they do like a gender reveal box as well with our Virgin and the Campari. There's a bunch of fun stuff that they do. So Better Roads is your best option there, but we do ship across Canada and the US as well. So any of those options.
I don't know why I'm saying this, but we use Total Wine out here on the West Coast. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh, okay.
But that's where we get a lot of our alcohol-free, either wines or beers. And they may be somebody to check in for you. That'd be a good option.
I would absolutely. I would love to check them out. Total Wine?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, and I might even throw something in there for you too when next time I'm there.
Oh, thank you. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joanne. Good to see you, and we'll talk soon.